I'll say one thing. I think that, you know, we have very real fears when it comes to dealing with children and how to raise them. Because at any given moment, depending on, they can be kidnapped, they can be, attacked, they can be, there's a lot of stuff that's very scary in our environment that makes people very skittish about treating kids a certain type of way, especially with the mindset and the legal issues that come now with how you deal with kids, so much so that now even teachers are fearful of how to deal with children because you can't deal with children the way that you could back in the day, right? So I think that it's 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 a very tough thing to try to like broach this whole entire situation, and specifically on kids because of a lot of the unions that created the kids aren't really well. The families aren't together, everybody's scattered and doing all of their own things and stuff like that. So it becomes increasingly hard to argue about what the man is speaking about because you understand the benefits of what he's saying. But then we say, okay, well, how do we take what he said for to the value of what he said, right? And how do we begin to structure plans and solutions based upon the realities that we have every day? And then that's when we start seeing the rubber meets the road because we we feel perfectly justified and feel fine considering a child at 18 is sometimes even a child still because you haven't experienced anything, you ain't been to college, you ain't done all these other things. So I think that it is like really hard to hear really good stuff that people be saying, and then when you see the very real obstacles in front of you, you'd be like, well, how do we get to that when we don't live in the same mindset or environments to create that?
It's so funny, and I agree with you, Sir, what you're saying, but that's the part. We're so far gone because obviously he lives in a community that they don't sexualize kids. You know, like he said, kids are exposed to, you know, things that they're not exposed to. They're twerking. They're being used as these sex objects, pageants, all these kind of things, and so that puts in the mind in an already over sexualized community that we have here. Now you're bringing kids into the equation. So you're right. It's like so far gone. Like, how do you get it back? Like, we're so, ah, it's crazy. Like, I don't know. It's just, I
What
hate it here. So I hate it
what
here
happened?
sometimes.
We're
What happened?
ass backwards with a lot of stuff. Like
So bad. But you
like
know why?
we'll
Because
get upset about seeing a woman breastfeeding, right? Oh my gosh, yeah. But then we'll have videos and access to porn and all of those things, and then that's okay. Like we don't flip about, or even like we work in high school. We see girls coming in dressed, just barely dressed. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll get upset about seeing a woman breastfeeding in public. Like it's just crazy to me about
I
the
don't think we
things
get
that
upset when people breastfeed in public. I think
no, it is on there where they were making laws or trying to pass laws that women couldn't breastfeed in public because it's offensive. Like straight up, like it's just craziness. The stuff that we need to be fighting about, we don't fight about. The stuff that really protects kids, we don't make sure that we make laws to ensure that they ensure their protection. And it's like we pretend that we care about family values and family, but our actions don't show that. And I don't mean like as a black people, I'm talking about as a nation, as a country. We just don't. We value
I'm,
youth, but we don't value children.
if only there was like a solution that would put all of these families together and it not be so many like single family homes and men that women. If only there was a solution. I don't
So
know.
Marcus, I understand what you're saying, and
he's trying to
I
say,
know, I know,
Nah,
I know
nope,
where
we
you're
not gonna
going,
say it. We just
but
gonna say if
but it
only.
can't. It's more than just two parent homes. I'm afraid the censor
the censorship of the 90s, right, was very different than the censorship of today. The
Oh,
access that these kids have
oh,
is like the fight as parents that we're fighting is an uphill fight. And what's crazy to me is you can't tell me it can't be corrected, because as soon as, I don't remember which president it was, as soon as the dude got in the office, bye was the Craigslist ads and the back page stuff. I forget
but you know
what it
what's
was,
crazy?
but there was a censorship law that prevents you from doing that, and they did that all in the sake of predators against the kids. So you can't tell me that we can't do it. So why are we afraid to do stuff like that?
So
Take these bold steps.
Yeah.
So AP, that happened because parents advocated for it, and parents had time to, because there was two of them in the household, and they were able to monitor things and say, we don't want this anymore, right? So it does go back to family, right? Because when you have somebody who's always got eyes on the kids and also has the capacity to pay attention to what it is that they're consuming, because they got a partner to take them out from time to time, you're able to do those things. But if you don't have that, you have somebody who's at their wit's end, who's past their capacity, who's barely able to like pay attention to what's going on and misses these things, or doesn't have the time to advocate and push for that type of legislation. That's why family is so pivotal to community, because it affords you the opportunity to do all the things to reinforce community.
And let me just say this. I think that, no matter your religion, Americans don't go to church no more. They don't care about really, you used to have a foundation. You go to church, you fear God. You did a lot of things because you had a fear of God. We don't have that no more. People don't go to church. They just don't. Or whatever you believe in. You just don't. That belief is just not, everybody's like just got a personal relationship with God, and they don't read nothing. It's just inside. So they just do whatever they want to do, just as long as they have a personal relationship, so to speak. And that's fine. But unfortunately, that's the problem, because there's not a institution to teach you the right way of doing things, kind of keep you in place. There's no real fear there. Does that make sense?
Right. It used to be the church, it used to be the school, and it used to be home. All of them were in alignment with what was the foundation, what was right. But now you don't have family. The school system is a joke in terms of teaching, value and more, any of those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we don't have, and then the church now has also changed to basically a business. Y'all make sure y'all pay them tithes. You know what I'm saying? So it's just not like the culture itself is eroding in all areas in which you would typically be trained.